Welcome back to the Tribal Lines podcast. I'm your host, Stephen Lupo, and today we have an amazing guest host from the winner of Glitch Season 1 that I played with him, Nick. Nick, how's it
It,
going?
it's going really well, and you very well could have been the winner had I not taken you out. So
Yeah,
we're amongst legends.
that was a very smart move. Yeah, that
It
was
was a very smart move. You
such
and
a
I had
great
only
game.
we had looked at each other and we're like, well, "You're going to be the winner if I'm not out." And we both saw that in each other, and we're like, "Oh fuck, we gotta get each other out." Shit.
Yep. Yeah, I targeted him in the final six, and he won a duel against someone else, and then comes back and final five gets me out right before the end.
Hence,
Um,
Final Five immunity, Final Four immunity, and I was like, "Let's do this."
that's right. Nick played an
Thank you for
awesome
lighting
game.
a fire under my ass. That's all I have to say about that. Thank you.
Yes, yes. So much fun playing with you, and now it's going to be so much fun getting to recap this episode 2 of season 50.
50.
I
Holy
know.
shit. I can't believe we're at 50. I started in the pandemic, and I started with Kagayan. Fun fact about me, one of
Okay.
my high school friends played Kagayan,
Really? Who?
Alexis Maxwell.
Oh my gosh.
And yeah, her brother and I were in the same class, and she was about 2 years younger than me. And sophomore, junior year, I remember going over to their house and playing a Ouija board and doing all that stuff. And when I found out she was cast on that show, I was like, oh my God, that's so cool. But at that time, I hadn't watched Survivor. So I was like, oh, whatever. And then when I got into Survivor, I was like, oh, let me check this out. I watched her season, and it was Kagayan. And I mean, it's the best, it's one of the best seasons ever. So like it was really fun to watch her. And fun fact about her, she's lethally smart. So I was really shocked that she was on the Beauty Tribe when she should have been on the Brain Tribe. That Brain Tribe probably could have used her a little bit.
Yeah, honestly. Like that was a very tough showing for the Brain Tribe.
Oh,
Yeah, for
oof.
me, I ended up starting with it was like during the pandemic, and I started with Heroes versus Villains.
Okay,
And
another good one.
the first challenge, just in and of itself, like before I even knew it was a strategy game, I saw the first challenge where they were fighting over the sandbags and like wrestling each other.
Yes.
And I was like, this is so cool. I need to keep watching this episode. And then I watched it and saw all the strategy that went into it. I loved the characters. And so I kept watching the whole season. And then I just absolutely loved the season, wanted to keep watching. Next season I watched was Kageon, was number two. And then the third season I watched was the first Blood versus Water. Those were my first
Mm,
three. Um, and then
so
that
from
actually caused me to watch Big Brother 2 because of Hayden from
same.
27.
Yeah, for me, I've the amount I've watched from top to end is there's only a handful, but I think it's the best of the best. So it was Heroes versus Villains, uh, Kagayan, Millennials versus Gen X. I
Mhm.
did watch Edge of Extinction, which I know is controversial. It's a controversial take, but I think a lot of really good characters, and I really wanted to see the David Wright through line from Millennials versus Gen X to Edge of Extinction. And
Hmm.
then I got introduced to Rick Devens, who is one of my personal favorite players. That I am like
Yeah,
for anyone in the 30s to be back, Rick Devens and Christian Hubicki are the two that I'm like, what? And they're proving in season 50 to be every reason. Like they're proving every reason for them to be back. Like I love this episode.
100%. 100%. Yeah, Rick Devens and Christian Hubicki were the two people that I was the most excited to watch in this season, other than Charlie. I'd say those are the top three. Charlie, Rick Devens,
Charlie's
and Christian Hubicki were my top three. And to
yeah.
see Rick and Christian working together
The
in
trio of
episode one
them
was
and
amazing.
Emily. Oh my god, I
And
love
with
that.
Emily in there too, yeah. And then I can't wait to talk about this episode because this episode is all about Christian and Rick
Christian
Devens,
and
and
Rick.
everything that they had to do
So
this episode was amazing.
so I will say in the 30s, the people that were returning for, the first time, Christian, Rick, and everything like that, very excited. But the returnee that I think I was pleased to see come back that had a couple attempts at the game and was also an Edge of Extinction, Aubrey. I was very
Mhm.
surprised and also kind of like, okay, let's see what she does. She got she got no edit last episode, and she's starting to pick up some steam. And it all goes to show you, like, the survivor gods, as they talk about, like, the survivor gods have to bless you in some sort of way. And the survivor gods slash Christian Hibiki definitely blessed Aubrey this episode. And I'm very excited to see, I think that changed the course for her. And I'm really interested to see what happens with all of that as the episodes progress, because I think she could do some damage, very intentional damage, and launch her pretty far into the game. I think that saved her life early on from being a pre-jury, but potentially.
Absolutely, 100%. Because uh, I thought this might have given us a spoiler possibly, but apparently it hasn't because there's going to be a tribe swap, and the fact that she
Yes.
has an idol. Kyle said in his exit interview that if they went to tribal, Aubrey was gone. So
And I
the
feel that
fact
to be
that
true.
now she has an idol and there's a tribe swap, this could be good for her.
I think this will launch. I think whoever she goes with on that tribe swap to Vatu, I think they're potentially in danger because she's aware. Aubrey was a little bit mopey, and I think Edge of Extinction really took the shit out, like took the piss out of her. I think Edge of Extinction was really a mind fuck for her, and I think she's trying to get on the other side of that. And I
Hmm.
think if she can get on the other side of that, we're back in like Karong territory where she could get to the end. And I think she is a really interesting contender if she does get to the end.
Yeah.
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 But we're episode two. So we're episode two.
She's a really good strategic thinker. We saw on her first season that she was very good at the social game as well, but
Yes.
she's struggling this season in the social game. So we'll see if she could do well because we do see a couple of people on her original tribe. I mean, on her swapped tribe from the previews,
Yeah.
and they're talking about like, oh my God, Aubrey said that to you guys. So
Yeah.
like, I don't
Well,
know if that could
I think
be.
Genevieve. I know we're going into episode territory, but Genevieve getting a prophet-like vision of Aubrey getting an idol and searching a day prior is that edit seems very intentional,
Mhm.
because I do think that that will come back to bite Genevieve in the ass because she is powerless right now unless Ozzy gets voted out and she gets the boomerang idol back. But she could potentially, if they're on the same tribe, I think that that is grounds for a Genevieve blindside potentially. I'm very scared about that because I love Genevieve.
Yeah, I wonder with that because first of all, the whole going through the bag, I think that
Oof.
was a perfectly planned out way to go through her bag. I think they did a phenomenal job, but they did it a little too early, and they're gonna think that she has nothing, yet she
And
does have an
and
idol. So
that is peak TV right there,
yeah.
because what will make you like memorable is the choices of crossing boundaries for the game's sake, right? Because like no one's going to check your bag in real life, but it's such a boundary violation in real life that it could seem applicable to the game. And in the game, all's fair in love and survivor. Like, you have to make those choices to understand what your next move is. And if Genevieve is saying Aubrey's too quiet, Aubrey's too this, she's been carrying her bag around a lot. Note for future Survivor players: carry your bag around a lot. That's something that I did in Glitch, and it caused a lot of uncertainty with people. It is a safety net for the player, but it's also something that signifies to other people, hey, she's probably packing heat. And I think Aubrey, whether we got the edit or not, was doing that intentionally because she knew she was at the bottom. That's
Hmm.
probably what we didn't see, but I would like to think Aubrey is a strong, intentional player that was trying to signal to others that was the case.
That's interesting. I wonder if that is truly what she was trying to do.
No one in 50 is an idiot. Let's just say that.
Right.
So anyone that got the shot of playing season 50 knows what the game is, knows how to play the game, and they're there to cement their legacy as a player for the fifth time or for the first time.
Hmm.
And the way that we're seeing these people play, baby, Survivor's back 49 was stressful for me. 48 was okay. 47 was great, but like we're back. We're eating good. And it's another reason why returnee seasons give you a little bit more to fight for because the audience is invested in the storylines and they know what's up. So I'm not going to underestimate anyone. And if you're searching Aubrey's bag, Aubrey gave you a reason to search that bag. And I think it was intentional.
Yeah. And with her possibly targeting Genevieve if they're on another tribe together. Now, I do see that they do have this little feud, so like I could totally see Aubrey writing down Genevieve's name. The
And
issue with that is it seems so obvious, but the editing doesn't. Like they're editing Genevieve so hard. Like especially to the point where something that I thought was interesting was to start the episode, we go to Genevieve talking
crying on the
about
beach.
how I lost Kyle, like I don't know what this is going to mean for my game. And
We didn't even get that
Camilla
with
did not get a
Camilla.
confessional on
We
that.
didn't get that with Camilla. Camilla
Right,
got zero confessionals
right.
this episode. So we
Yep.
start the episode with Genevieve and the impact that it has on Vatu, right? Vatu is
hmm
the
I don't
and
know the tribe names really. I just kind of know the
pink,
colors.
the pink tribe.
Yeah.
Um, it's Vatu, Sela, and the teal tribe. I don't know the
hmm
teal tribe. Um, but yeah, we get the impact on Vatu, which I think, man, Kyle's legacy is definitely cemented. I mean, the impact that he had in just an episode, 3 days,
Right.
is it like first of all, I hope he's okay. I hope he's kind of gone through that grieving process, and I know 8 months of space between filming and now has probably given him that and an Achilles surgery.
hmm
So I'm really bummed to see him go out because he looked like he was set up for success. And they had a 5-person tribe with Rizzo, 5-person alliance with Rizzo, Angelina, and Aubrey on the outs. Um, but 2 people lost their votes in that tribe. So
Yeah.
so
One medevac, two lost votes.
yeah, and like that alliance crumbled pretty quickly, but in the ashes we pull in Rizzo from the, you know what I mean? And like Genevieve is grieving and she's like, I'm mad that I selfishly have to think, how does this impact my game? And she's right because in like again, in non-survivor, you want to care for your friends, you want to be there, you want to support, and you want to be of assistance. Kyle's no longer on that beach and you're playing a game. And she has to quickly go over and start to think about how this impacts her game because she's still in it. So I mean, Q pulling in Rizzo with Colby.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean that was a smart move. I mean Rizzo, and then you get this beautiful kind of reconciliation with Rizzo of people thought he was annoying, and over the couple days he's at least self-aware enough to know that his energy needs to modify for these players because he's
hmm
not in 49 anymore. In 49 territory, he could grandstand peacock, and I think what we're seeing with these 48, 49 players is them recognizing in real time that they cannot play the game that they played in their original season. Because
hmm
Rizzo is seeing, you're seeing that with Rizzo, you're definitely seeing that with Joe. In fact, people aren't later. I don't want to get too far ahead, but people don't want Joe to play the same game, or won't even allow him to play the same game that he played in 48 because it's fresh on their mind. They just saw Kyle win, and 49 just finish ending. So there's a lot of interesting stories playing out with that.
Yeah. And I think going back to the Genevieve Camilla thing, I think that the way I'm reading that edit is that Camilla easily could have gotten a confessional there and did not. So I think that Camilla is not going to win the season. And I
Anyone
think
who doesn't
Genevieve
get an
has a very
edit,
good chance of winning that this season, especially with how often she's in confessionals, yet they're not even going to tribal. And she has like one of the most confessionals of the whole cast.
Camilla not getting an edit made my heart break
Yeah,
because she is, of the 48 returnees, the one I want to succeed so much. And
same.
the sentiment in episode one of like I was forced to play with the honor and integrity folks, and baby, no, we're gonna gatekeep girl boss
I
and
loved
what's the
that.
other one? You know what I mean? She's with D and Tiff, and she's like, this trio's gonna dominate. And on that teal tribe, it seems like Chrissy was they show that whole montage with Chrissy being mother, and not in a good way mother, because being mother is great, but being a
Hmm.
mother in this moment seemed to be pissing a lot of people off, which is interesting because Chrissy kind of had those moments, I think, in 35. She's in 35 Healers, Hustlers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, but she's known to be one of the strongest. Like she's won one of the most immunities in Survivor, and so she has that. But like that social game, watching it play out, that doesn't give me much hope for both Camilla and for Chrissy.
Right. Because
We
Chrissy
just not
was
see
going to be the next
an
one
episode to
voted
see.
out. Like she
Yeah,
got
we didn't
saved
see
by
it.
that tribe swap.
And that's what's to say is like Camilla, Chrissy. I don't even think D got a confessional last episode. So like these
Yeah.
are all, like when we're talking meta of the Survivor, we're talking edit. The as viewers and as people who are into it as we are, we're kind of seeing the writing on the wall play out from a story point perspective. And Genevieve has, and I'll say it right now, Genevieve has likelihood of winning, or she will be absolutely blindsided, and they're setting her up for a blindside because I do think that Aubrey Boomerang Idol will come into effect.
Hmm. I
Or
wonder
maybe not.
because the thing is Aubrey not getting that much screen time and Genevieve getting a ton. I feel like the editors want you, if there's going to be a blindside, and it's going to be someone that people love, they want you to also absolutely love the person blindsiding them. And
Oh
so
yeah,
if Aubrey is going to blindside Genevieve, I think they would have equal edits. And the fact that Aubrey has a small edit and Genevieve has a huge edit, I think if Aubrey does play the idol successfully, that it won't be sending home Genevieve.
on
That's
Genevieve. Yeah,
my prediction. But I
it could
think
be.
it's so
It
obvious it
certainly
would
could
be
be.
Genevieve.
It certainly could be Q. I think that is equal footing. The Aubrey Q stuff preseason is always interesting. They seem to have squashed maybe some beef, but Q, I think in the tribe swap of it all, I don't know spoilers or anything like that, but
We're going to talk at the end of this podcast. We're
right.
going to talk about the tribes
Oh, I love
for
that.
the tribe swaps
You
because it
know,
was already posted online, and we're going to
let's
figure
go.
out who we think is going to go home, who's in trouble,
Let's
who's in a good
go. I
spot.
love that.
Yeah.
So I mean, we've already started with the medevac and the reaction on Vatu.
Hmm.
Um, I really want to talk about Mr. Christian Hibicki
Yeah.
because making moves and not in the way that you want to be making on the show. The first ever contestant to soil themselves on camera and have it make the edit. Can we? Is that like factual? Like,
It has to be.
Jeffrey stood on that beach. Mr. Probe stood on that beach and said, "We want your everything." And Christian said, "Hold my pants, please." I shit them. Like this is peak Survivor. Like watching him. Like we thought that what's his face? Was it Jonathan they did it in front of, or was it I
Joe.
forget who? No, it was Joe. It was Joe. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
And like Joe was like, I thought he hurt himself. I thought he like pulled something. And like you just see him walk off camera with the blur on his ass. And CBS, that's mean. That man is carrying a franchise right now, and you're doing him like that. That is crazy behavior.
Uh-huh. I think that I thought the same thing, but I could see it from both perspectives. Like, oh my God, you're embarrassing the hell out of him. But at the same time, it's a
That's
funny
what
moment
happened.
that people are going to love and make them love Christian even more, even though it's an embarrassing moment, which
Well, that's
is
the
the
thing is
great thing
like
about Christian too.
it's well that he sits at the intersection of everything that is likable in Survivor because he not only has such a strategic and comprehensive mind in general, but for the game of Survivor, and he is just such a sweet human being. You fully flesh him out with the fatherhood stuff in episode one, and then he went to go on and post like his son watching the first episode with him, which was I thought was I love that kind of content. But then like in episode two, he's soiling himself, and man, I we've all been there. Listen, I'm not gonna talk from personal experience or anything like that, but like, what a human experience to show on Survivor, because you're like, could you imagine if this was Jonathan? What would we do if that was Jonathan? We would have been like, that's disgusting, and I hate that. What would we like? They would like. There's someone so endearing like Christian, and someone that can take it on the chin, but can build from it, right? And someone like Christian is, I mean, like I said, if it was like Joe or Jonathan or even Mike White, that shit would have been scrubbed from the earth. Like that footage would have been banned, and like, but like,
Yeah.
for someone to show that and for him to have such a good spirit about it, and to recognize the insanity of that, it really goes to show you the powerful player that he is. And he's just so likable. And I'm so happy he's back on our screens.
Yeah. And while we're talking about Christian, he ends up, well, and we'll talk more about Joe in a second, but as Christian is talking about Joe and complaining to the camera, he's just walking around and he looks to the right and he's not even looking for an idol,
He
finds
just
the
finds.
idol. But before we talk about his decision, my one of my favorite parts of the entire episode, which I was just so happy that someone found it and reacted this way, opens it up on camera so you can't like he can't fake it from confessional. Opens it up, reads, "Hey, it's Billie Eilish," and then he's like, I thought that was hilarious. I would be thinking the same thing.
I,
To first read, "Hey, it's Billie Eilish," like, what the hell is this? This is Survivor.
yeah, there's a brilliant set of TikToks and tweets on like what they could have done for like legacy advantages, like calling it after certain players in the game, like a Parvati or something. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
like, it started to become very twisted, like the Angelina Keeley, "Can I have your code advantage?" and like it's super silly stuff.
Hmm.
But like, it goes to show like Billie Eilish, I love you. But like, the when you're first getting it, there's been no precedent before this to have any celebrity impact the game like that.
Yeah.
So there is like a this is Survivor 50. What are okay,
Hey, it's
and like
Billie
Christian is,
Eilish.
but yeah, like Billie Eilish, like I'm very like the Mr. Beast promo that they gave in the trailer, like very curious to see what happens there.
Jimmy
And I'm
Fallon
also,
is going to affect Christian's game one round.
oh my God.
I
Oh
don't
my
know what
God.
that's about.
Yeah, like all of that, I have so much doubt as to how much the fans really had power over. That is of debate. CBS, I'm calling you out.
On like the second most popular Instagram Survivor page, All Winner Survivor, I saw there were story posts about what the fans could choose. And it was like everyone could vote all day long. And so we can generally have a good idea of what is going to be chosen for all of them. And the entire first episode, everything that was chosen by the fans was not the majority vote on the Survivor Instagram page. So I don't know. Like, I know that all of the things that were actually apparently chosen by the fans are things that Jeff Probst has said in interviews or out loud, or it's so obvious that that's what he likes with the new era. And I don't think that's what a lot of the fans like. So I feel like they should have gotten Rice. I'm surprised they had to earn Rice, that they don't even get Rice and had to earn supplies. Um,
Yeah.
what was the other thing that
The
was
dynamic advantages, the
Oh, dynamic advantages. I don't think anybody wanted dynamic advantages. I feel like a lot of people wanted neutral or no advantages, to be honest.
if I would have seen a season 50 with no advantages, I think I would have been a little fucked up, because let me be crystal fucking
Yeah,
clear. The advantages in this game is what has solidified people like Rick Devens, people like
exactly.
Suri. So like, there are, whether you've played it or not, or whether it's impacted your game, there is, I mean, Survivor is synonymous with advantages now, and
Hmm.
you want to make sure it's modified. But I do think that the dynamic advantage choice it's created like a false bias with like, I think they knew they wanted celebrities to have some sort of impact in the game,
Hmm.
and I think they leaned on dynamic to get something like a boomerang idol, which a boomerang idol, that, hey man, I would have some fun with a boomerang idol
Yeah.
because I think the best, at least in as playing a game where I sit on advantages, which you have direct experience with that. I think it's best when everyone has access and when people have the ability to control their own fate. And in in glitch, I was very rich in advantages, and I pass those out like they were hotcakes because I like to see what individuals do with them. As long as it doesn't negatively impact me, baby, we're good. But the
Hmm.
minute you use it against me, I'm like, well, shit. So you know what I mean? Like in that situation, having an advantage very much can save you. And I think we're actively seeing that play out with Aubrey. And I think I genuinely believe that Aubrey, we're seeing a phoenix rise from the ashes.
Yeah, and I think strategic advantages was the best option. I thought it had like a very high majority in the vote on that Instagram page compared
I
to the others because like strategic advantages is like there are some idols, there's some extra votes, stuff like that that I like. But like for example, like if it's dynamic and it's a bit too much, something like that could be at a split tribal,
yeah,
one person from the winning team gets an advantage that could literally give someone a safety without power that has to be
correct,
played that
correct.
tribal. And that I think, like the whole thing with Rachel, I think that was too dynamic. But I also can't watch a Survivor season anymore without advantages. Like I need advantages. They
Unless
make
you're
for the best
very,
blind sides. They make for more strategic moves because you have to figure out how to maneuver around
yeah.
these idols and advantages. And I think that they definitely can be more creative and come up with more interesting advantages and or
Well,
ways to give out advantages, in which I think
we
they so far have done in this season. The thing with the boomerang idol, though, is I think it's very good because it makes the person who gets it have to make a very strategic decision on how they want to hand it out. But the person getting it, I feel like it's kind of unfair because they didn't really do anything other
and they don't
than
know
have
what the
people
fuck.
watch their season and generally know what they might do with this advantage. So I feel like the person who's going out of their way to find this advantage is not even getting the full benefit of this advantage. But maybe not having an idol could maybe not put a target on their back and put a target on someone else's back, but also be a sign of trust. So I guess it goes both ways in a way.
I I think so. I love a new twist to an idol. I think that the boomerang idol, there are some fallacies that need to get fleshed out, and maybe we'll see it down the line in its final form. But as they're figuring it out, I think you're right. You have all of the power in the person that found the idol, and the person that's been given the idol only knows that they have an idol. And if I was on the receiving end of that and I was on the bottom like Aubrey, I would be sobbing. I would be so grateful
Right.
that Christian sends an idol to me. I don't know that it was Christian, but I know that someone out there is thinking about me and wanting to make the move with me. But when Christian, you can't, like, as the recipient of that idol, you can't discern the intention behind it because the true person who knows the full power is the person who found it, which is that if they get voted out with it, it boomerangs back to that person. And that changes that makes it kind of icky because did you send it to me because you thought I'd get voted out with an idol in my pocket, right? And
Well,
I
they
think
don't even know
inevitably,
that though. They only know that they have an idol.
but I'm saying there will be a time when Christian and Aubrey, or if I mean maybe next
Oh,
episode,
like yeah, because the word
we'll
will spread.
discover that or we'll find that out. And that can change the intent or the impact that it has on someone like Aubrey, who was at the bottom, or even who got it last episode. Ozzy, I mean, like,
Mhm.
I think Ozzy's been Survivor rich since episode one.
Yeah.
So he's wheeling and dealing, and I think he will he's more likely to go out with it than Aubrey is.
Right.
Um, but like I would love like if we're talking dynamic, I would love for that boomerang to get boomeranged to Aubrey, and then a version of that boomerang idol text is given. If you send this to someone else on a different tribe and they get voted out, it comes back to you.
Mm.
So it truly can then become you are in control. Once you receive it, you are in control, right? So we're really now boomeranging it to different people, and that has some fun. That has some fun implications. But if it stops with Aubrey and then goes back, you know what I mean, or it stops with Ozzy and then goes back, it really stops. It really stops becoming. There's only so much strategic stuff you could do with it. So I can imagine in the future, maybe season 53, 54, they fleshed it out so that it can continue boomeranging to people if it's like a pass one on that type of thing.
That could be interesting,
That I
definitely.
mean, it would cause a lot of chaos, and I'm all for chaos.
Now, what do you think about Christian's decision and thought process to give this to Aubrey? Because Genevieve and Christian had different thought processes. Genevieve wanted to give it to Ozzy because maybe Ozzy would be voted out with it. But then Christian wanted to give it to Aubrey because he wanted to give it to someone who wouldn't tell anyone,
Yeah.
who it actually would help him make a relationship with later in the game. So, what do you
Um,
think?
I think we're again. Intention is key. I think with Genevieve, Genevieve knows Ozzy's history and is taking hedging a bet that he will get voted out with it. So she wants that idol back. I think with Christian, I don't know. Please, I don't think I've watched all of Christian's full season. Has Christian ever found an advantage before?
Yes. Yes, Christian has.
Has he had an idol?
Yes.
Okay. I would imagine that he is looking to make the connection. And we again we'll see it play out and whether or not that's true. But I definitely felt like he's not making this choice. Um, he's not making this choice erroneously. He is being very intentional about who he sends it to, and I think he knows Aubrey's track record. Aubrey is a Phoenix Rising. Like she had a great showing her first season, Game Changers as well. And then at Edge, it was hard getting on track for her. And we're seeing that kind of similar thing up until she gets that idol. And I think that that idol was a blessing from Mr. Christian and the Survivor Gods that will hopefully give her the spark to ignite that kind of flame for her again. That Aubrey that we know. So I think this was a big episode for Christian, but a very subtle big episode for Aubrey because she was at the bottom, and I think Christian doesn't need an idol right now because he's got Rick, and Rick is the biggest target on that Sela tribe, whether we want to acknowledge it or not. But he's the one of the most dangerous minds, and he's also in a duo with the other dangerous mind on that. I mean, like Sela is filled with dangerous minds. Maybe minus Ozzy. Ozzy's definitely treading water. As Ozzy's looking for a good physical challenge to get him through. But like you have the likes of Rick, Emily Flippin, Christian Hubicki, and fucking Sari Fields. Like that's the Brains tribe right there, and we're seeing the Brains tribe really working overtime as they're figuring out what to do in this. And Savannah, I mean, oh my God, Savannah could read anyone. She had that read down cold right before they went to tribal, and that's ultimately what got her booted. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And
I'm a talker. You know this.
yeah, no, so am I, dude. I think also something I want to talk about is Joe just absolutely blowing up his spot because of the place that just the way he works and the way he plays this game. He plays
Yeah.
with 100% honor and integrity, but much more than I feel like Coach thinks he is playing with honor and integrity.
Well,
Um,
coach plays with honor and integrity defined by him that fits within the format of the game.
yeah.
Joe plays with honor and integrity that does not fit within the format of the game.
Yeah, because like coach is like, I want to be honest with you and keep my word, and I will unless I am
I'm in
in a
trouble.
position where if I go with my word, I will for sure lose this game. And then he
Yes.
swats, which I completely respect the way that coach plays the game. But
Well, but Steven,
Joe,
that's how you would play a game. That's how I would
yeah,
play a game. Like I want to play I want to play as best as I can with as much as I with as much heart and vigor and vitality. But if I see something that is going to ultimately be my undoing,
Hmm.
I can't, in good faith, strategically be like, yeah, I'm going to go that route. And I think in
Exactly.
48, honor and integrity got him to the end, and they let that happen. And when you're sitting on a tribe with Rick Devens, Sari Fields, Ozzy, Emily, and fucking Savannah, that is not going to fly. And
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 Hubicki.
and Hubicki, like, you cannot sit here and tell me, Joe, that this you thought you were going to do the same thing twice.
But also, like, it's not even that. It's like, sure, you can keep your morals, you cannot lie, but at the same time, it's. I think it's honestly, I think it's less about honor and integrity for him. I think the reason why it's blowing up in his face right now is more so because of what Kyle and Camilla did to him.
He's
He's so
really
nervous that someone is going to lie to him, and Rick lied about the conversation with Savannah, but if you are trying to play a smart game, you're not necessarily going to go up and confront, hey, I know you lied to me. Like, why would you lie to me? Just know in
yeah.
the back of your head, like, maybe this person does not want to play with me. Now I know that this is a Kyle or Camilla who is actually like lying to my face.
And
And rather than, but he's someone who will always want to confront the people. And I think
yeah,
that's bad gameplay. And I think that definitely upsets the
you
people who don't play like that. And he's on a tribe with all people who don't play like that.
well, and
So
you
I
have
think
to
that's tough because
you have to maneuver around him.
I did watch a podcast recently, just like a clip from it of Shaheen, like recapping the episode or something, and he was asked about like was it difficult to work with Joe, and he said that it could be difficult for some people, but for the people on that season, season 48, like they knew how to work with the people they were working with. They understood what Joe needed. They gave it to him, and therefore he was loyal to him. And I think it's less so that Joe's gameplay is the problem. It's that everyone else on the tribe doesn't want to play with someone who has Joe's gameplay. And I think
I
that's what's tough on this tribe
I
specifically.
I do think Joe. I don't think Joe sank his ship, and from the interviews with Savannah's exit, indicate that fight was a little bit longer than and a little bit more awkward than we
Yeah.
were allowed to see. Um, I think the tribe swaps bring new life to things, and I think it gives you an opportunity. But Joe really put himself in a hot seat, and blindsiding him was absolutely a real possibility. I think uh, again, when you're closer to the season in terms of playing 48, 49, even 47 and 46, you D I think D and Emily have enough time now where they've seen a lot and they've connected with a lot and they've gotten a time to process for about what it was like 2 3 years ago now. I
Yeah,
think
something like
the
that.
players in 46 and 47 and the players in 48 and 49, they just went through this. And so you're seeing in real time Joe dealing with the trauma of Kyle and Camilla. And I don't even think I would really say that Kyle and Camilla really lied to him. That Kyle and Camilla were doing the best to get to the end. And if anything, he probably traumatized them. Like he Survivor
He
is so
definitely traumatized Camilla.
yes. And so it's players traumatizing players in this game, but when Joe is so stoic in the face of the game and saying, I'm not going to move, you move, that's a bold move because I, I can't see myself setting such a staunch and stoic precedent when I'm on a tribe with the likes of Surrey Fields and Savannah. And like, again, all of these people, one of them is a winner who had to lie. One of them is one of the greatest players of all time, and the others are quickly becoming other great players of all time. So where Joe I think fumbled here was letting his inner demon really sabotage him. Because I think if you want to play with honor integrity and you want to be the face of I'm playing an integral game, you have to acknowledge that other players are going to lie to you. And you have to say, I'm going to figure that out and I'm going to make the best choice for me. You can't say, I will not accept people lying to me. That's not the game that you can only control you and your actions in the game. If you're trying to branch out and control other people's actions of the game, that's when we have an issue.
Hmm.
And I think that Joe was trying to control other people's actions in the game from that conversation. And you're not going to tame Rick Devens. In
Yeah.
fact, I think you gave Rick Devens the idea or the you were the inciting incident for getting Rick Devens to do what he did at fucking tribal council. So in the grand scheme of things, you contributed to Rick Devens doing one of the most iconic things I've seen on Survivor.
And let's talk about that. So that was honestly just amazing TV.
Maybe Rick Devens is
That was
doing
the
everything I
greatest
want
thing
to
I've ever
do.
seen on Survivor. I
Rick,
can't wait to see it actually pan out.
oh,
The smarts to immediately, like he just literally just got told that Christian had an idol and then was like, you know what? Do you still have the parchment? Let's make a fake idol, hide it at tribal council, which on the US version, no idol has been hidden at tribal council. And
ever.
so, of course, Survivor 50 would be the perfect time to hide something at tribal council. So everyone is going to think it's a real idol. So I think that's brilliant. And then Christian falling so that everyone would be staring at him so that Rick can go hide the idol. A brilliant move and perfectly executed. And I am so
Listen,
glad that these two are working together and are on my TV screens. They just make
I
every single second of watching Survivor so much fun for
it,
me.
so I do think Christian, I do think Rick go very far in this game. I think Joe goes far. I think that most of that Sela tribe goes far. I would like to say, that original Sela tribe. I think they all are making it very. I would like to think because I mean, Sari Fields should win the game, but that's my own personal bias.
Yeah, there's no shot
The
she wins. She's like a
I,
0.0% chance for me.
Hey man, that is. I don't want to speak nevers, but it is slim. Um, I think it's slim for a lot of the people on Sela, but getting them far into the game, we're gonna be eating good. And that setup in episode 2 for a fake idol, baby, Rick Devens is doing everything that I would want to be doing on a Survivor season. Like, please, Survivor CBS, give me a chance. Everyone wants to play, but like you want to see next level thinking, Rick Devens is the person to beat. But like I would be wheeling and dealing. I'd pull that fake idol if I ever felt fucking unsafe. And I'd be like, oh, this is the Sia immunity idol. You know what I mean? Give it clout. Make it if
That's funny.
celebrities are coming out, give baby, it is the Sia chandelier tribal council idol and the winner wins $25,000. I don't fucking know, but like, you know what I mean? Like the fan favorite, or
Well,
but if
it's
you're
definitely smart for him not to open it because obviously it's not a real idol. So like just to show it like, okay, I got it. Like let's go vote, Jeff, or something like that and just not open it. Like I'm going to open it in the voting booth and like say something like that so that people think that he does have an idol because what else could it be hidden at tribal council? Of course it's an idol. That's the first thing everyone's going to think. So definitely don't show it and then,
I
you
would love
know,
it if it did. I would
survive
love it if
and
it got.
figure out what happens after that.
I would love it if it would have got if it would be found by someone that wasn't like Rick, or it wasn't like could you imagine Ozzy being like, the fuck is this? Like I just love the idea of someone who is unknowingly grabbing something, finding a fake idol.
Yeah.
Because that then is an unknown, and it could be so much fun. But the fact that they showed it, Christian again, eating shit and falling. He starts the episode shit in his pants, and ends the episode eating shit. So
Yeah.
he controls that by it's so masterful and so chaotic. And Rick might not be playing to win, but Rick is playing to have a good time. And I think if he wins, that is a testament to a truly good player. But like, man, that is what I want to see on my screen.
Yeah. So that was great talking about the episode, but I really want to
We even
before
talk
we
about the
finish
challenges.
before screw the challenges.
First of all, just a note on the challenges. everyone in this season is, I am so concerned for anyone that is over fucking 35 because those challenges look crazy. And like
Right.
I'm worried for my poor boy Colby. Like Colby looks like the golden retriever from Homeward Bound that like makes it over the hill last in that moment. Like I'm always like, is Colby okay? Like we're snapping Achilles, we're fucking hurting ourselves, we're shitting our pants. Like I'm concerned for like Colby. I'm concerned for Coach out in the ocean,
Oh
just
my
fucking
God. Yeah.
like,
Literally was about to die in the ocean.
Coach was like, if Jonathan wasn't there, I would have died. And I was like, no, sir, if the boat wasn't there, you would have died. Because but like these players are, I think the thing that I've noticed, like outside of like the other stuff that happened, was like these players are at a different stage in their life, and I think that's what Colby has been. That's the story of Colby last episode and this episode. He didn't really get covered much, but with Coach getting pulled to shore and with like Ozzy like seizing like he had his back issue when he was trying to get the key off and everything
Right.
like that. I think that we're really paying attention, and I love seeing it of like the realities and harshness on bodies as they age because they're not 25 anymore.
Hmm.
And I think that's a really interesting. It's a really interesting part of the game. But that the one part of the challenge that I was like, I would die is Colby like ripping, catching up because Vatu was at the in the bottom in the first half of that challenge, of the immunity challenge, ripping through that course with a 200-pound snake and Stephanie
Yeah.
Lagosa behind him, and like just beasting it. I was like, I think I've been changed as a person watching that because that's like he not only caught up, but he let out this guttural scream that I was like, oh,
Yes.
that's good. He's definitely feeling it at the back at the campgrounds later in the day, but he really put his back into it, and he
And
might have.
I forgot who Mike White was going up against, but when he was on a 1v1v1 in the reward challenge, he was the first one to get through the course and he was going up
Ripped Mike
against two
White.
compies.
Rip Mike White is a beast right now, and
Wild.
those are the things that I want to talk about the challenge because we didn't really get to talk about the challenge. But Vatu clean sweeping. I thought they were in the bottom in that immunity challenge, and they were going to tribal, which got me worried about the Aubrey Q and everything, Genevieve connections. But man, Sela, something on Sela is not working well with them, and that this is two in a row that they've now been. So we go to tribal, we have all of that show, and then Savannah gets eliminated,
Yep.
and like we are Savannah, dude. Savannah is a smart, very intuitive player, and I think if she had more than 2 weeks to analyze her game and figure things out, I think there would have been a better chance of her making it longer.
I don't know if there would have been because like I think people were just like scared that she was just a very smart, strategic, dominant player and all they know about her is that she won and that she
Yeah,
probably has an advantage.
yeah,
So
and
I
talking
think she
about
was kind of dead in the water regardless of if she got a time to think about.
I, I mean, talk about the mastery of Sari Fields, though. I mean,
Yeah, 100%.
that sequence of Sari talking, that is how I always. I mean, again, the game of Survivor and any other like social game like this, it is not like I don't think Sari wants you to think what she wants you to think, but she is making soluble, tangible points of these individuals. She's utilizing what she knows
Yeah.
to saying, make your choice. If it's Ozzy, I get it, but Savannah is a winner. Savannah went on a trip and came back with nothing, and but we none of us believe that, and so all of us are going, well, yeah, we have to get Savannah out, and Savannah gets sent packing with an advantage in her pocket.
And speaking of advantages, Sari has
Given
her
one.
first advantage. Ozzy
Three
gave her an extra vote.
Sari with advantages might be what we need to get her probably to at least the merge. Hopefully, I mean,
Hopefully.
I think she's getting a really lovely edit, and she again is showing us why she is so masterful. She's showing us why she won the trader. She's showing us why she is a legend in this game. And if we don't put respect on that name, she will come and vote us out. We will be eliminated. We're on the chopping block. And I like I always say like I want to like the best of the best. Like you always want to kind of in the Survivor application or like what players are you influenced by? It is Suri, it is Rick Devens, and it is the person theoretically that was supposed to be Savannah's spot, Marianne from season 42.
Yeah.
I like, and I can't help but think now that Savannah's been gone, of like, would Marianne have done better? And
Absolutely. I think
I think
Marianne would have been with Marianne, Emily, Christian, Rick Devens. That would have been the majority four right
oh
there.
my God, I would have been foaming at the mouth. And again, no offense to Savannah, like I genuinely think Savannah is a very strong winner. I think her, D, Kyle, Marianne, those are the four that I'm with. 49 I have a lot of problems with, but I like her as a character and how she's
Hmm.
grown. Her little thesis at the end of like I've learned to be more vulnerable, and that's the moment they vote her out. That sucked. Like you can't learn your lesson and then just get throttled out of the game.
I know.
Uh, but I can't help but wonder, would Marianne have done better if she was cast? Because if I would have, in my fangirl, if I had Rick, Sari, and Marianne on my screen, I feel like the world would be healing. I think season 50 is doing its best to heal the world in some way because the world is fucked in a lot of ways. But the two out of the three is okay right now,
Yeah.
and they're working.
Hmm. And speaking of Suri's advantage, I wonder if it could come in handy with this tribe swap because I want to talk about our tribe swapped tribes.
Yes, 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 yes.
So the first one, and we'll talk about Suri's tribe. We have from the same tribe. We have Camilla,
Okay,
Charlie,
okay,
Jonathan,
okay,
and D.
okay.
Okay, all of those four are together. And then we have Rizzo, who's alone.
Oh, okay.
And then we have Suri and Rick Devens that are together.
Suri and Rick Devens are together. Okay.
Okay. So what I'm interested in is I
What
think
about the other
that
tribe?
the four people from the I think it's the Teal tribe, maybe, or like whatever
Yeah,
Jonathan's
that's
tribe is.
Jonathan D, Camilla, and
Yeah,
Charlie.
Jonathan D, Camilla, and Charlie. I think none of them were necessarily targeting each other. Maybe D was getting targeted a little bit, but they were going to vote out Chrissy. Um, I think those four would stick together. So maybe possibly get out D, but I don't know. So the
I
fact that we have Rizzo, Suri, and Rick Devens, I think that those three are most likely one of them is going to be the one voted out,
Which
unless
Rick, you said Rick or Suri?
Rick, Suri, or Rizzo are on
I
the
mean that four
bottom.
percent that 4% majority is an interesting thing. I would not undersell Jonathan's new era of being a little bit more strategic. I think if we see anything, we see a flip in Jonathan potentially, or could see a flip in Jonathan if he's able to maneuver it. But there's no way I see Rick or Suri getting taken advantage of. Maybe Rizzo, but I do think it's within Suri's best interest and Rick's best interest to bring Riz into the fold as a tight three and maybe pull a Jonathan or a Charlie. I don't think Charlie. I think Dean, Charlie, and Camilla are tight, and Jonathan might want to see them tight. But I
Mhm.
think oddly enough, Jonathan or Dean might be the swing if they go back and forth because they might want to lose one of the people from that Teal tribe.
Now, what do you think about this advantage? Do you think it could be used to possibly prevent
If
those three from being the ones out?
If Sari Fields pulls Riz, she only needs one to tie,
Yeah.
and she has an extra vote, so she really needs to pull and do her best. I mean, I can't see Sari not wanting to work with Rick. I can't see Sari not wanting to pull Riz, especially as he gets singled out as the only member of Vatu on that tribe. So I think we're going to see some dynamics. I don't think that this is the tribe that goes to tribal the first time.
Okay.
I think that with any tribe with Jonathan, maybe you're safe. Like we're not. I think Jonathan is Jonathan is going to make sure, and I think you have Charlie and Camilla on the mind. You have Dee and Jonathan on body, and you have Suri and Rick kind of as pinch hitters in both for as much as they've. I mean, Suri's seen probably all of the challenges, and Rick. I mean, Rick pulled out some pretty key moments in the last reward challenge. So the only one challenge wise that hasn't really proven themselves is Riz. And I
Who do
don't
you
think it's enough to sink that team.
who do you think if they do go to tribal will be the elimination?
Out of Sela,
Yeah.
the new Sela.
Or
Ooh.
the new Orange tribe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna be controversial. I think it might be Charlie.
Oh my goodness.
I think
I mean, he
Charlie.
hasn't gotten many confessionals.
I think Charlie and neither is Camilla. So maybe Charlie or Camilla are in danger in that tribe.
Okay.
I think Riz. I
I
think Riz
hate
has enough
it.
Riz to. I think Riz has enough Riz to get with a group, and I know him. I know him to be not. Well, he's probably not going to try and pull the four to be a majority of five. I think he's going to go with Suri, and I think he's going to go with Rick because they're bigger targets.
I think if what I'm thinking is what I don't want to have happen and probably would be the worst thing for Survivor 50, but I think that Rick Devens is in a lot of trouble. Um,
Really,
yeah, I think he's
I have
gonna.
faith.
I think within the next two episodes, I think the fake idol is gonna be used, and I think
I
Rick
mean,
Devens is gonna have it, and I
if we're
think
getting
that
swaps every two episodes, I mean, he just needs to last another two rounds.
yeah. So, but if he goes to tribal with this tribe, and I think he will be a very big target to be voted
Yeah,
out. So, if that is the case, then I think he will grab the idol. He will make people not want to vote for him anymore, start up a live tribal, and
and flip it.
I think that the vote might end up being either Rizzo or Suri. I do think that the other four are going to stick together. But if anybody is going to flip, I don't think it's going to be Jonathan. I think it would be
Camilla.
D.
Oh, D.
Maybe
Okay.
D and Camilla. Maybe they'll,
I
I don't
I
know.
think Sari getting an extra vote in a seven-person swap, a seven-person vote is always fun, but when an extra vote comes into play, you can tie that bad boy up and really start the fun. And I think that's what potentially could happen if they go to tribal. That is a
Yep.
key ingredient for a tribe of seven because a seven person vote is always the most juicy. That's one of my favorite votes because there's so many varieties of how the vote could turn out. Um, but yeah, I hear that. I think Rick could be in danger, but I think you have the last winner. Both winners have gone out pretty quickly, and I think D should be absolutely terrified. I think D has every reason to start figuring out how the fuck to get forward when Kyle was at episode one and Savannah was at episode two.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I think
As a
Suri
winner,
is going to go after D because I think Suri is nervous about D.
D
Um,
and Suri V versus each other. D
yeah.
V Suri.
I think the
The other
people who
tribes.
actually have a chance of going home, in my opinion, are uh, Rizzo, Devins, D, and Charlie.
Mm,
If I had to say an official guess, I think Devins will get the fake idol, will not be voted for, and I think that it'll end up being yeah, I think Camilla will maybe decide to vote Charlie. I think Sari could use the extra vote. I think the advantages will all be used properly, Rick and Sari, and I think somehow they're going to get a flip to happen and it be Charlie. And I
I
really hope it isn't because I love Charlie and I'm
I love Charlie too,
still
but
so
he
upset at his loss. But I'm gonna say Charlie.
so in the essence of time on the new Kahlo
Hmm.
tribe, we have Aubrey, Chrissy, Coach, Colby, Genevieve, Joe, and Tiffany.
Yep.
Who are the outs on what on this new tribe? Is anyone on the outs?
So we have Chrissy, Coach, and Tiffany from one tribe.
Okay.
We have Aubrey, Genevieve, and Colby from one tribe, and then we have Joe as the lone one. But
See, but I think
Joe has said that he wants to work with people of honor and integrity, so he wants to work with Coach. And then Coach said he wants to work with Colby. So I feel
I
like
think
those
oddly,
three men are going to want to work together. And I think, oh, a girl is definitely going to be the one voted out first from this tribe. And I feel like because Coach and Tiffany were already considering voting out Chrissy, I still think Chrissy
Chrissy could
is
be in
on the
danger.
chopping block. Um,
I think Joe
and
might.
I think that's who's going to go home from Aubrey's idol.
Interesting. Interesting. I
I
think
think if they do
Chrissy.
target Aubrey and she plays it, Chrissy's the one to go home.
Yeah, I think Chrissy might be safe amongst the Colby and Joe honor integrity moment. I think Colby, Coach, and Joe as a trio is interesting. Aubrey, but you have that Aubrey and Genevieve tension, but I think
Mhm.
Genevieve and Tiff might come together. But Genevieve's also with Colby. So there, you know what I mean? Like Colby could be instrumental here in making the decision. I do think someone female identifying might be out, but I think the person that I'm the most concerned for is Joe. But at the same
Really?
time, yeah, at the
I
same
think he's the
time,
swing vote.
I was gonna say, but at the same time, I think he's not on the. He doesn't. No one knows what just happened on the last. He's actually he might be really good. You know what I mean? People he just threw a hissy fit on the last beach with Rick, and they got into a fight. No one knows about this on this tribe, so no
Right.
one's leveraging that, and they're all gonna have to reset. So that's a soft reset for Joe. So maybe
Yeah.
he is in danger just because they have seen the season and that's fresh in their mind,
Well,
or
no, that's why he would. I think that's why everyone would want to work with him
yeah,
because
yep,
of seeing his
and
season.
that very well. So a Tiff, I think Tiff is going to be fine. Genevieve, I'm concerned about, especially as it concerns Aubrey. Um, Colby, Colby's not been getting a lot. He's been getting a lot of like I'm old, beleaguered, and tired edits. So maybe Colby. But I mean Colby and Genevieve are the two I think are in the most awkward position because they were so ready to vote out Aubrey. And the same could be said for Wade, for Coach and Tiffany with Chrissy. But I think it was more palpable, and I think Aubrey knows. Aubrey has the idol, and Aubrey knows she was at the bottom.
Yeah. I
And
definitely think they'll be going against each other. I think Aubrey will be trying to work with the other
yep,
tribe,
yep,
and I think Genevieve and Colby will be trying to work with the other tribe.
we tried.
And
Yep,
I do think because Coach wants to work with Colby and Joe wants to work with Coach, and therefore Joe will probably want to work with Colby, I think Aubrey will be put on the outs yet again. And I
yeah,
think it will be between Chrissy and Aubrey to be the
yeah.
vote. And I think regardless of if Aubrey plays the idol or not, I think therefore Chrissy goes home. So I'm saying Chrissy. And who are you saying as the vote? Who do you
I
think?
would say I'm concerned for Genevieve. I'm concerned for Colby. Just with the anyone having an idol in a trio where that person with the idol is on the outs, I do have concern for.
So you're thinking maybe
So
Genevieve then,
Genevieve or Colby,
one of the two.
depending on. Yeah, I think they're the people on Vatu that made Aubrey feel that way. I think Aubrey's coming in. Aubrey's got a new gun. She's ready to go. So I think they might be the most unsafe. But I don't. Again, in this group, I think the group that is the most unsafe is the Vatu tribe, the one that's coming up. So
Yeah, let's talk about that. We have three people from David versus Goliath all on the same tribe, which is going to be so interesting to watch. We have Christian, Mike, and Angelina. Um, but then just talk about the different tribe divisions. We have Christian and Emily and Ozzy, all from their tribe. And then we have Q and Stephanie from their tribe. And then we have Q, Stephanie,
you, Stephanie,
and Angelina
and Angelina are on the same tribe,
also on the same
and then
tribe.
Christian,
And then
Emily.
Mike White is the sole person on the outs who
Yeah,
is
Mike.
probably the swing vote here.
Mike might
Um,
be in trouble, but Mike has Angelina.
mhm.
But that being said, I think people in their lizard brains on Vatu, like I think the base id of these people, they've seen. I mean, you have all of one season, all three players from one season on this new tribe. You have Angelina, Christian, and Mike, and
Mhm.
that I think puts a huge target on that trio. But I think Christian has Emily, and I think Christian and Emily could maybe pull Mike or maybe pull Ozzy or Q. I don't really. Q might be. I think the Vatu tribe feels like the most in danger. Like they feel like they're the next episode, one of them is going home.
And I think
Um,
who got swap screwed here unfortunately, I think is Q.
Q is the Q and Angelina. Q does not get along with Angelina, and Q
And
might
does
push Angelina, but Angelina has now Mike and Christian at the helm. I
mhm.
I don't think Angelina. I think this is a disaster tribe. I mean,
Yeah.
any first of all, any tribe with Emily flipping on it is a disaster tribe because she has just gone to tribal and pre-show pre-jury for all of the time. She is category, and same with Stephanie. This is a disaster tribe. They
Right.
are going to tribal so much if they continue. But I think Stephanie has the capacity to survive, as is
And Q doesn't
her.
have a vote either, which is also
She doesn't
difficult.
have a vote. I think
Because
Ozzy.
it's going to be a three versus one if you're going tribe based.
Yeah,
And if you're going tribe based and you're the swing vote, you don't want to go with the tribe that if you vote with them, they're going to tie. Also, Angelina was on the outs with Q
yeah,
and Stephanie.
yeah,
So just from all of that, Q not having a vote, Angelina being against Stephanie and Q generally,
yeah.
especially with Q calling Angelina lazy. I know that they don't have the great relationship that um,
I
on
mean, and
that
Ozzy
tribe.
has the
So I think Q
Ozzy
is
has
in
an idol,
danger.
and Ozzy has the idol. So I think Emily cannot target Ozzy in this round because she gets a lot of heat on her. I think they have to work together, Christian, Emily, and Ozzy. I don't think Q is not. I think Stephanie would play with Ozzy over Q any day, and I think Ozzy would probably know, at least hopefully learn to shut his mouth and to just get a little bit more ahead by getting with Christian and Emily. That
Mhm.
trio
But the
could
thing
win.
is, Emily really, really wants Ozzy out. So how is that going to play? And can Christian tame Emily for a third time?
I think in this configuration there are going to be bigger targets in Q, Emily, Angelina, and Mike. I think there's been a lot of backlash or a lot of heat from Angelina in the post show after interviews with like how she processed Christian's post game or like pre-game interviews.
Right.
So there
That's a
does
good
feel
point.
like there is some beef. So I think if Christian could potentially blindside Angelina. I think Christian
Interesting.
uses
I could see that.
essentially.
That you bring up a great point with that.
Well, and I think Mike, Christian, and Angelina, a David versus Goliath reunion is great in theory, but Mike and Angelina made it to the end, and I think with Emily, with Q, with Stephanie, and with Ozzy, they're not going to let that happen. So someone's going to want to break up Emily and Mike White. I think the reason and Angelina and Mike White. I think the reason why Emily wanted to break up to get Ozzy out was because she knew the connection that Sari had with Ozzy. So if she refocuses back on duos, Angelina and Mike are the duo in that tribe that could make it to the end and have made it to the end. So
Mhm.
I think if Emily refocuses away from Ozzy, brings him in, and shoots her shot at Angelina or Mike, they're in danger.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
this
I
is
can
way
totally see
past the
that.
time I said I was available for. So I gotta wrap up.
Yeah, so let's just hear who you think is your winner pick for
Um,
season 50
I
and why.
have I would say I'm gonna give three. I'm gonna give three
Okay.
right now because I think
Okay.
I think that the three are prominent and have been heavily featured in this episode. I would love a winner pick to be Christian Hibicki. I think he is doing everything in his power to ensure his status as a legend, and we're gonna see that even more so.
Hmm.
I would love it. I'm splitting one with two people, Emily and Rick. Emily or Rick, like I really need one of them to get far, or both of them. I need the trio to get far. But
Right.
I do think what we are seeing play out in real time is the Phoenix rising from the ashes. I think Aubrey Bracco is going to win this season.
Wow.
I think we are seeing. I might be early on this trend, but there's something telling me that she is starting quiet and she is going to give everything. And I really we might be seeing her win, and it might be her time.
Okay. That's
What
very
about you?
interesting. Um, I think that the top contenders to win are Christian Hubicki, Genevieve, and honestly, even though it's hasn't been really showed that much, I think Coach
Okay.
um, has a good chance of winning.
Yeah.
Um, and but out of those three, my official winner pick is the same winner pick that I had preseason, the same one for episode one, and it will stay the same episode two until she does terrible and makes me change my mind. Genevieve is my winner pick.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I really see. I think you and I are sitting at the opposite ends of the coin because I think
Yeah.
There's an Aubrey Genevieve storm coming, and I think whoever comes out ahead is, I'm going to call it now, and I'll do a gentleman shake with you. I think we have the winner in our winner picks because I think that whoever survives the Aubrey Genevieve onslaught, that person is going to be the winner. Let's call it
Mhm.
now.
Okay. Let's call
Want to
it.
shake on it?
Let's shake on it.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Who knows? We'll see. We'll see. Maybe I'm just maybe I'm just they both get eliminated back to back tomorrow.
Right. No, right. What
Um,
I'm surprised about is that there's hasn't been a single like legit double elimination. Like they got to start picking this up. They have 21 people after two episodes. There's usually supposed to have
I
16.
think
There's
we'll see two doubles coming up. I think
I
there
hope
has to
so.
be. You have to get rid of 10 people. You have to get rid of 24 to 14, and that's typically where 14, 13, 12 is where they merge. You have to get rid of 10 people before you merge, and three people are gone.
Yeah. That's a lot.
So
That's a lot left. So we'll
yeah,
see what Survivor has up their
yep,
sleeve. I'm hoping
yep.
that one person, say if two tribes go to tribal and they just do because the fact that there was a reward challenge this episode shocked the shit out of me. Like it should have been an immunity challenge, and then the rest of the episode should have been two tribes
Two
going to
tribals.
tribal. So
I've been curious. I like I having Jenna as 24th place and having Kyle as 23rd and Savannah as 22nd place is crazy to me. But like those placements, I mean, you got to start picking that up. So I do think we're going to see some of the new era. Maybe they're going to break off, vote two people out, and then come back or do, you know what I mean? Like I hate a merge. That's not a merge. That's the thing that pisses me off the most is like,
yeah.
oh, you merged. Now we're going to break up into two groups and you're going to vote someone out. Baby, that's not a merge. I'm just
Yeah,
another
you
company.
merged, but we're gonna make two separate tribes.
Yeah, the mergatory, all that bullshit. Like
I hated
I
that.
don't need that. I need, you know, I need some sort of double or triple, or you know, have all of the tribes compete for individual immunity, and then they each have to go and vote one person out.
Yeah.
That'd be crazy. But yeah, I do need to start wrapping these up.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you so much, Nick, for hopping on and
Please have me back anytime.
recapping
I
and
would love to do
analyzing
this.
this episode with me.
Yes. I had a great time.
Yeah, this was awesome. I had a blast. We'll definitely have you back on again.
Please.
And thank you all for watching. Like and subscribe, and we will see you back here for episode three of Survivor 50 to see
Swaps
what
are coming.
happened and what of our predictions have been correct.
I'm dying to know.
Yeah, me too. All right, see you guys.